The 1970s weren't just the golden age of kung fu movies. They were the decade when filmmakers cranked the violence up to 11. Forget graceful duels and flowery speeches. These were the films where bones snapped like twigs, villains went for the eyes, and heroes barely crawled out alive. Today we're counting down the most brutal kung fu movies of the 1970s, ones that left audiences gasping, cringing, and maybe checking for missing limbs on the way out of the theater. Before Bruce Lee hit Western theaters, Five Fingers of Death exploded onto the scene with a flying fist and a whole lot of screaming. Known as the movie that lit the fuse for America's kung fu craze, this one isn't about grace, it's about impact. We've got eyes getting ripped out, heads getting karate chopped, intense leaping, and the famous iron fist technique, where your hands glow red right before someone's ribcage gets rearranged. It's Grindhouse Kung Fu, complete with an over-the-top score that yanks Quincy Jones's Ironside theme song and uses it like a battle horn. And let's not forget the sound design. Every punch sounds like someone slapping a watermelon with a frying pan. Five Fingers of Death didn't just break bones. It broke the door open for kung fu to take over drive-in theaters across the country. This one starts like a rags to riches kung fu tale and ends in an arterial spray. The boxer from Shantung follows Ma Yong-jin, a poor laborer who punches his way up the ranks of Shanghai's criminal underworld. But success comes with a body count, and the final fight is where this movie goes full Scarface, kung fu style. Picture it, one man, a hatchet buried in his gut, soaked in blood, fighting off an endless wave of goons, and winning. It's like if Tony Montana traded his machine gun for iron fists and said, "Say hello to my fractured knuckles." No wire fu, no slow-mo, just raw, messy, desperate combat. If you're into heroic bloodshed before it was cool, the boxer from Shantung delivers, with blood, broken bones, and a whole lot of guts. If you thought Shaolin movies were all about enlightenment and inner peace, Executioners from Shaolin is here to punch that thought in the throat. This brutal classic mixes spiritual kung fu, generational revenge, and one of the weirdest villains in martial arts history. Pai Mei, the white-haired kung fu master with eyebrows like angry mustaches and a crotch that might as well be made of cast iron. Seriously, one of the major training arcs in this movie revolves around learning how to punch through the guy's indestructible groin. The story spans years, with a father training, failing, and passing the fight down to his son, who has to master tiger style and aim lower if he wants to win. The fights are crisp, fast, and vicious. Every kick and strike delivered with surgical precision and the emotional weight of decades of pain. It's part family drama, part revenge thriller, and part how do I defeat the world's most unpunchable monk. Executioners from Shaolin is brutal and bizarre in the best way. Also known as Return of the Five Deadly Venoms, Crippled Avengers is as mean-spirited as it is inspiring. The story? A tyrant warlord and his sadistic son who has iron arms go on a maiming spree, blinding one man, making one guy both mute and deaf, cutting off the legs of a different guy, and giving brain damage to another. But instead of giving up, the victims join forces, train in specialized kung fu styles, and come back swinging. And those training sequences, brutal. Imagine learning to fight while blind or mastering steel prosthetic legs. It's painful to watch, and even more painful for the villains when payback day comes. The final showdown is a masterpiece of Shaw Brothers choreography, a cathartic explosion of skill, vengeance, and a whole lot of blood. Crippled Avengers is pure gritty determination wrapped in a kung fu epic. This isn't just a kung fu movie, it's a full-on fever dream, and a sequel to the cult hit One-Armed Boxer. The story features a blind assassin on a mission of vengeance, hunting down the one-armed fighter who killed his disciples. His weapon of choice? A razor-rimmed decapitation hat that he flings like a frisbee of doom. And when it lands, let's just say heads roll, literally. What makes this film so brutal is its anything-goes approach. We've got tournament battles, bizarre villains, including an Indian yogi with stretchy arms, and one of the most banging Grindhouse soundtracks ever. Every fight feels unpredictable and savage, with the guillotine lurking like a slasher villain in a kung fu world. Master of the Flying Guillotine is a non-stop decapitation showcase that cemented its place in martial arts cinema. When the Shaw Brothers' legendary Venom Mob steps up, you know it's gonna get bloody. The kid with the golden arm revolves around a convoy of government gold under attack from the Deadly Valley Gang, led by the seemingly invincible Golden Arm, whose arms are literally as hard as steel. And that's just one of the film's colorful killers. You've also got Iron Robe, who shrugs off weapons, Silver Spear, who stabs first and asks questions never, and Sand Palm, whose poisonous palm strikes can kill you within a few hours. The fights are slick, fast, and packed with creative mayhem. Watching the heroes try to find a way through Golden Arm's steel body is like seeing someone punch a tank until their knuckles split. By the finale, the body count is high, the betrayals are brutal, and Golden Arm cements himself as one of Shaw Brothers' most memorable villains. The kid with the golden arm is all about style, savage finishing moves, and the kind of martial arts swagger only the Venom Mob could pull off. If Bruce Lee was a graceful tiger, Sonny Chiba in The Street Fighter is a wrecking ball made of pure fury. This movie follows Chiba as a mercenary for hire who would do anything, and I mean anything, for the right price. He's not a hero, not even close. He's a snarling, double-crossing anti-hero who fights like every bone in his body is a weapon. And the violence? Next level. We're talking bone-crunching X-ray shots, teeth getting knocked out, eyes getting gouged, and one infamous barehanded castration scene that earned the film an X rating in the US for violence. That's right, the same rating they gave porno movies back then. Chiba's intensity is off the charts. You can practically feel the pain through the screen as he destroys anyone dumb enough to get in his way. The Street Fighter isn't just brutal, it's unapologetically savage, the kind of movie that made Sonny Chiba an icon of Grindhouse cinema.
I'm going to try to collect!
If you thought fighting a guy with iron skin or golden arms was tough, Born Invincible says, hold my tea. The movie's villain, Chief Chin, is practically unbeatable. His silver hair and high-pitched voice might seem funny at first, until you realize he's literally impervious to pain. Blades bounce off him, punches don't faze him, and he can crush bones like twigs. To make matters worse, the only way to kill him is to hit a single pressure point at the right time. Good luck with that. What makes Born Invincible so brutal isn't just Chin's skill, it's the sheer desperation of the heroes trying to stop him. Every training scene is grueling, every fight leaves bodies on the floor, and the final showdown is pure survival. This is one of those films where you're left wondering if anyone's going to make it out alive. Intense, relentless, and savage, Born Invincible proves that you didn't need a big studio to deliver bone-crunching, nerve-shredding kung fu. These movies weren't about holding back. They were about survival, vengeance, and proving that you could keep fighting, even when you were covered in blood and missing a few teeth. Which one of these brutal kung fu gems is your favorite? Did we miss a savage classic from the 70s that belongs on the list? Drop it in the comments and let's talk about it. And hey, if you enjoyed this trip into martial arts mayhem, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell because we've got plenty more underground cinema coming your way.